Impact Wrestling has done it once again with another game-changing announcement last night on the show. And of course with AEW, the Forbidden Door is well and truly wide open once again. Welcome to SCW here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. You've probably heard the news by now that a Rebellion, the main event, has been set. The winner at Sacrifice this Saturday evening between Rich Swann and Moose in their title for title unification match will represent Impact Wrestling in another champion versus champion match, title versus title, and that winner will be taking on AEW World Champion Kenny Omega in a winner takes all match. Groundbreaking news. I'm really excited for this announcement, and during this video I'm going to say the pros, I'm going to say the cons, and I'm also going to speculate what this could lead to in Rebellion in general, because looking at Impact Wrestling, a lot of their big matches that they could have saved for Rebellion have been put on the Sacrifice card. So I'm very interested to see where the direction of this pay-per-view is going to lead in general. So lots of speculation in this particular video, but let's start off with the good. Why this is really good, because Impact Wrestling with Kenny Omega, let's face it, the ratings went through the roof. Some of their highest ratings for years has been while Kenny Omega has been associated with Impact Wrestling. That Forbidden Door being open has never been a bigger deal than when Kenny Omega has been at the show. It's been fun with the other names there as well, Private Party, Finn Juice, but let's face it, the game changer was Kenny Omega. And to make this announcement here, there's been rumors for a long time that Kenny Omega wants to be the belt collector, and that was the idea of why he was coming to this show in the first place. Of course, he is the AEW World Champion. He's also the AAA World Champion. He's been that for a very long time. Could he add another belt to the collection? And could by the end of this year be someone like Ultimo Dragon? If you remember back in the day in WCW, he had all those Cruiserweight Championship belts. I think there was 9 of them at the time. But this looks to be the direction of that storyline. And for that reason, that's a pretty big deal for Impact. If Kenny Omega is going to come in as the World Champion, I'm pretty sure the ratings will go up. I think the interest will go up. And I think more and more people will be watching to see what's happening on Impact Wrestling. But there is a negative side to this, because Kenny Omega, since becoming the cleaner, he's on a different level. You could argue that he's a bigger superstar than anyone on the Impact roster. And yes, you will make a star out of someone on your Impact roster who actually beats him for the championship. But with all the hard work that's gone into AEW to present that character, is someone going to beat Kenny Omega from Impact first before he loses the AEW World Championship to someone on their roster? Because the person that beats Omega first will get the ultimate rub. So for me, there is a feeling here that this almost feels like it's a great deal for Impact to get him in and potentially be the World Champion. But at the same time, if he was to win that championship, there could be, that sort of heat in the momentum that someone may get. I don't see that someone from the Impact roster will get that before someone from AEW. So there is that kind of counteractive argument here of whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. On the flip side though, maybe there could be a real game-changing moment and the Impact champion actually becomes the AEW World Champion. Now that certainly would cause headlines everywhere, because not only would Impact on the night win the show and keep their championship, they would take another company's championship, and that champion then would probably have the right to go over to Dynamite, which would be fantastic for Impact Wrestling. But then you would argue if that was a good thing for AEW. It's one of those things that this match has dangerous implications, but at the same time, as a fan, this is also must see. So that's where I'm going to leave that. I do think it's must see, and I will say overall, I do think the positives outright the negatives, because for Impact right now, to have Kenny Omega on their show brings more eyes to their product, it brings more eyes to the rest of their talent on the roster. And let's not kid ourselves, the Impact roster is a very talented roster. They've got some great wrestlers in there. Particularly, I'm a big fan of their X division. I'm a big fan of their women's division. I think they're two of the strongest divisions in all of wrestling. Impact has got a roster that you shouldn't sleep on, honestly, because looking at it, they are a very talented group. And if they had the right financial backing, as some other companies do, I do think more people would be watching their product on a more consistent weekly basis, because a lot of their storylines are decent to watch as well. But looking at this Rebellion show then, as I say, it's a groundbreaking show. It's a big main event announced. I wonder if everything stops here, because obviously there are other matches that are taking place on Sacrifice that you say, this could have been on Rebellion. And the idea that we have AEW versus Impact already Rebellion is a perfect name if you wanted to have an AEW versus Impact Wrestling Supercard. Imagine this lineup if this was to go down. Now, I'm not suggesting this will happen, but just fantasize with me for the minute the idea that you could get the AEW Women's Champion against the Impact Knockouts Champion. Could you imagine Hikaru Shida against Deonna Purrazzo? That feels like screaming a dream match. It'd be a great direction to go for both companies, because it does feel like with both champions, they're on a level of their own at the moment. So to have that competition against each other would be pretty darn awesome to see. Let's not forget the Tag Team Championship scenario as well. The Young Bucks and the Good Brothers. That story's building anyway on Dynamite. Could you imagine the Young Bucks coming back to where they arguably started? Of course, they were Generation Me in TNA back in 2009, 2010. It would be great to see the Bucks against the Good Brothers on Rebellion. And of course, you have the X Division champion that could take on the TNT champion. There's certainly different ways you could go about this, and would be a lot of fun to see. The only thing I would say with all of that perhaps counteracts it, you can't have title versus title all the way through the show, because, I mean, arguably, there'll be a lot of double champions and a lot of, champions that you need to get back on your program, if you know what I mean, because it's quite hard once you've got someone that's a double champion from a different program to actually get them to come back to your program on a consistent basis and then, drop a championship back to one of your talents. So there are backwards and forwards ideas of this, but what I would say is an idea of a super show is something I think a lot of fans want to see. It's certainly a video I've done in the past, which I'll link on the end of this video, of course, dream matches you'd want to see from AEW versus Impact Wrestling. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are you excited for it? Do you think Kenny Omega will be the belt collector and he will win the Impact World Championship? Is it irrelevant who wins between Rich Swann or Moose? Let me know who you think is winning that match as well in the comments below. But yeah, this is just a quick upload, just kind of looking at everything really from every different direction of how this will go down. To give a conclusion, I do think it's a good thing. I think, like I said, it will give Impact more ratings, it'll give people more interest, it'll give more exposure to their younger members on their roster. I mean, they've got such great up-and-coming stars. You look at Ace Austin, Chris Bay, these are superstars of tomorrow that will be leading in Impact Wrestling and perhaps even other promotions as well. They are big-time players and they're at a very early stage of their career. But that's all from me. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to Rebellion. Hope you are as well. Let me know your feelings in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. And don't forget, sacrifice predictions on the channel are coming up. So make sure to keep your eyes glued here on SCW.